Okay, so you've just received your SANTRI, and what you're trying to do is to assemble it for the first time. What we're going to do is we're going to do the assembly in two components. The first component is best done, or at least best demonstrated indoors. We're going to put together the actual unit that does the measuring. And then in a later segment, we'll look at how you install this unit in the field. So before we start, just a brief orientation. One thing is, for this component, you'll need really just three tools: a Phillips head screwdriver, a 3/8 inch wrench, and a 5/32 Allen wrench. So the actual SANTRI components are, well, you have the fin, which basically just looks like a fin. It's got a place for the anemometers to fit in. There's the main axle that's used for measurement. Actually, it's not the axle, it's the measurement arm, where all of the individual OGD sensors are actually mounted, and where we have a junction box. We have an anemometer, which is going to get mounted on the fin and is going to provide wind speed information to the SANTRI. And finally, we have the main electronics control unit. Most of the components here are connected together in a way that you wouldn't want to take them apart. What you have is you have the main control box. On the front is the user interface panel, and you open that, and you have a couple of controls there that we'll go over. On the top is a solar panel, which provides the external power. And then there's also a GPS antenna, which is magnetically stuck to this collar. This is the triangle collar, which is used to mount the SANTRI once we want to do so in the field. And then there is the bundle of wires, the dongle that is coming out of the SANTRI that will eventually connect to the sensors on the sensor shaft. Okay, let's take a peek inside of the box. To do that, remove the 4 screws holding the cover in place. You'll want to be careful when you remove this cover, because there are wires that are attached to the inside of the box. So don't pull it off quickly. Just pull it off and put it to the side, gently like that. And what you'll see inside of the box is the battery. And then this battery is connected to the solar panel when everything is working properly, and charges from the solar panel during the daytime. And behind the battery is a printed circuit board, which has all of the electronics in it. The wires to the SANTRI go through this collar, and then they actually get passed down through the shaft, and they come out over here. So that's how the connectivity is. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to just put this cover back on so I can do the rest of this. We're going to attach the fin, because that makes it easier to work, and attach the anemometer. I'm just going to put these screws on so that the cover doesn't fall off. Attaching the fin is fairly easy. There are 6 screw holes here, and the screws may or may not be in them. They might be in a separate bag, but they're just 5/32 screws. One thing I'd like to point out is that each SANTRI is uniquely labeled, and then each fin is also uniquely labeled. So this one is labeled number 5. This is SANTRI number 5. There's a label in the front, and this is anemometer number 5. And then this is junction box number 5, upside down, number 5. And then the other mark that you'll see on this fin is an up arrow. So basically this will be pointing up. And what you're going to want to do is place all the screws. Before you tighten them, make sure that they're all where they're supposed to be. And once they're all in place and all the threads have caught, just go ahead and snug them up. Okay?